Hi, it's evening already. Actually, it's dark outside. 已經去到黃昏嘅時間，其實係唔係應該係黑晒啦已經。So it's night time，咁係夜晚啦已經。I thought I would have a more relaxed afternoon。咁我諗住我今日係會 hea 啲嘅，but then when I finished class, I went to have lunch with my classmates。咁但係落咗堂之後，同啲同學一齊去食晏啦，and when we finish lunch, it's already like 3 o'clock。食完個晏已經3點啦。Then I have to walk back here to my apartment. It's another hour。咁我又行翻嚟1個鐘啦。咁 and then I came home. I had to do laundry. I had to rush out to buy like washing powder and also like toilet paper。跟住我翻嚟又要洗衫啦，又要出去買洗衣粉啦，要買廁紙啦咁。And then after I put in the laundry, then I went for a swim, but it was already the sun was already setting。咁我跟住係啦，搞掂晒洗落衫，咁就去游水啦。咁但係其實咧就已經開始即係太陽落山啦。So it wasn't as pleasant because the sun is not on the side of the swimming pool， 咁就冇咁爽啦，因為日落喺另一邊啦，即係唔係喺個泳池上高啦咁。So but I did swim a little bit， 咁我都游咗一陣嘅咁樣啦 ，just to fulfill my plan。咁我計劃咗今日係其實係諗住其實係游一個晏晝水，即係 hea 曬太陽咁樣嘅。Because I did plan to sunbathe and swim for the entire afternoon after class。咁我其實即係啦 ，because the afternoon activity today at the school wasn't my cup of tea。咁因為今日晏晝嗰個活動就唔係好啱我玩啦咁樣樣。But anyway I'm now waiting for my clothes to be dried。咁我而家等緊啲衫乾啦，咁 finally just kind of relaxing and chilling。咁就係啦，即係可以攤頭下 hea 下 and have the time to read。咁我哋有時間可以讀書啦。咁我哋正式開始啦。So let's begin. Read to Resist, Day 202。當閱讀也是抗爭，第202日。The Concise History of Hong Kong by John Carroll。香港簡史，從殖民地至特別行政區。著者高馬可，譯者林立偉。Chinese. Because so much of our knowledge of working and middle-class Chinese comes from colonial records, even the most thoughtful studies of early Hong Kong society have been unable to reveal much, for example, about family life or material culture. Most of the Chinese who came to Hong Kong in the early years were from the lower classes, such as laborers, artisans, tanka outcasts, prostitutes, wanderers, and smugglers. That these people violated orders from authorities in Canton against working with foreigners suggests both the dismal conditions in China and the opportunities the British colonial rule offered. Even after the influx of wealthy Chinese families during the Taiping Rebellion, most Chinese in Hong Kong were men who left their families in China. In the middle 1850s, only 1/4 to 1/3 of Hong Kong's population was female. Given the colonial government's concerns about maintaining order among its Chinese subjects, we have a better idea of how Chinese society in early Hong Kong was organized. And these organizations, in turn, shed light on the opportunities and problems facing the Chinese population. One important feature of the Chinese social structure in early Hong Kong was temples, such as the Mammo Temple, which was dedicated to the worship of the gods of literature and war. Another early temple, the Kong Fuk Yi Chi, was a place where Chinese could worship their ancestors. 華人，由於我們對於勞動和中產階級華人的認識，大都來自殖民地檔案，因此有關早期香港社會的研究，不管多麼周延細密，但對於家庭生活或物質文化等層面，資料所能透露的只不過是一鱗半爪。在香港開埠初期，前來此地的華人大都來自低下階層，如勞工、工匠、受排擠的疍家人、娼妓、無業遊民和私梟。這些人甘於違反廣州當局嚴禁與外國人合作的命令，顯示當時中國的惡劣情況，以及英國殖民統治所提供的機會。 太平天國時期有大批富裕的華人家庭湧入，但即使如此，當時的香港華人主要仍然是把家眷留在內地家鄉的華裔男性。在1850年代中期，女性只佔香港人口的1/4至1/3。明白到殖民地政府關注的要務是令華裔子民循規蹈矩、安分守己，我們就會更清楚了解早期香港的華人社會是如何組織，而這些組織又有助我們知道當時華人所獲得的機會和面對的問題。早期香港華人社會結構的重點是廟宇，如主要供奉文昌帝及關武帝的文武廟。另一間早期廟宇廣福義祠，則是華人供奉祖先的地方。So this is the reading of today. It's just a very short paragraph. 咁我哋今日淨係讀呢一個小段啦，咁樣。So begin to talk about like Chinese population in the early colonial Hong Kong. 咁開始講咧，香港早期殖民地嘅時候，華人嗰個社會個組成係點樣啦？咁 So very interesting point about like how female was actually like a minority. 咁即係其實好少女性係喺呢一個人口嘅當中啦，只佔1/4或者1/3啦咁樣。Then later on, like we'll probably read about like the sex worker and the sex industry in Hong Kong. 咁之後應該會讀到即係應該會提到嘅咧，就係呢一個嘅性工作者佢哋嗰一個歷史啊、個發展啊咁樣樣。Recently, I have helped translated the exhibition right now in 太館Hong Kong。咁我最近幫手譯咗大館佢哋而家做緊嘅展覽嘅即係翻譯佢哋而家展覽嗰啲文字啦咁。所以gender and space 咁就係講到即係性別與空間咁樣樣。And it did also talk about like a lot about how history has not been writing or recording anything that is related to the life of females。咁裡面當中有提到嘅就係即係其實好多時候歷史嘅書寫裏面咧都係會淹沒咗咧女性嗰個存在啊，或者佢哋嗰一啲嘅史實啊咁樣樣。So it's very interesting about like how the development of a society is kind of like gender bias in a way。咁即係其實好似即係都講到即係好有趣，即係香港嗰個發展史其實都有少少已經有一個性別嘅偏差喺度啦，即係點樣係即係好似係男人去即係開始啊，或者係即係去嗰個工作嗰個勞動。And then like when they mention female in history， 咁而喺歷史裏面寫到即係有關女性嘅時候咧 ，most of the time they are all like prostitutes or sex workers， 咁就成日都係佢哋性工作者啦、娼妓啦咁樣樣。Or like armor, like what we call like domestic helper right now。咁或者即係以前嘅即係工人啊、馬姐啊，或者我哋而家叫家務助理啊咁樣樣。So which are like sort of jobs that are rather closely related with slavery or or at least like unfree kind of like the nature, like the nature of it is not free. It's not a free person. 咁即係好多時候即係呢一類型嘅工作性質都會讓我哋即係聯想到就係一啲即係同奴隸嘅制度有關嘅，或者奴役嘅制度啦，可能即係總之佢唔係一個自由人啦咁樣樣。And also like if you read about the history of what we call 妹仔妹妻system, which is like the poor family in China or in Hong Kong, they would sell their female child, their girl, to like rich family to become like a maid, like to train as a servant, as a maid. And then some of them might be trained to be a wife, to the master. And so like there are a lot of this kind of like twisted weird so-called customs, and the system had been continued like for a very long time until like very, very recent. It wasn't really demolished until later. So I think like it would be mentioned here in the book. 咁應該喺本書度即係之後都會提到就係妹仔制度啦，即係嗰啲咁樣即係好畸形嘅諗法，即係窮人就會賣咗個女去即係俾有錢人做工人啊，做妹仔啊，或者即係同樣式啊呢啲咁樣嘅嘢啦咁。It's quite unfathomable actually， 其實係即係好難想像啊咁。And the abolishment of the system actually was really helped by some British woman, and well, it's like specifically like a British couple who have advocated it like very strongly, but also like there was NGOs, there were like some kind of civil organization within like the local Chinese community as well, but like it was mainly being pushed and strongly advocated by Western women, European women, and also like this sort of like help to put this issue onto like the table of the parliament in the United Kingdom at the time. 咁妹仔制度嗰個廢除其實都幾依靠係即係外國人、外國勢力啦嚇，即係當時嘅西方人咧去即係幫手去即係廢除嘅，最後能夠即係廢除嘅時間都係but it's already like I think it's like just before. It was just before World War II or yeah, so I mean they have changed law like a couple of times, but like the entire thing wasn't really abolished until like maybe in the 1950s or 60s. Like I'll have to check the exact year, but it's like sometime around that time. But the first kind of like changing of the law would happen in the 20s and like late 30s that sort of thing。咁如果冇記錯咧，就應該係大概可能成去到要即係1920年代先開始話即係討論啊，跟住又改政策、改法例，法例改咗好幾次啊，咁樣即係3幾年嘅時候改啊。咁但係即係就算一路改嘅時候，改到去到尾咧，要去到成50年到60年先叫完全係廢除咗啊咁樣樣。And it was like very horrifying, like people who were defending the system.said, like this is like a tradition, this is a custom, and we are doing like the girls' benefit because their families were so destitute that they really couldn't raise them. So if we did not sell them as a servant to rich people, then they would not be able to survive, but like this is the part that I don't understand. If you think it's a charity, then why do you have to use them as servant or as maid, right? Why can't you just donate money or support them to have education and like it's just an excuse of like really backwards thinking, right? 咁但係其實係好變態嘅，即係佢哋嗰啲即係當時捍衛呢一個制度嘅人講嗰啲嘢，即係你嗰啲細路，即係你唔賣佢嘅話，佢基本上屋企窮到咁都養唔到佢，佢就即係養唔大，佢都死㗎啦。咁即係賣佢做工人，佢先至即係有翻條命仔咁樣樣，即係好似就係因為我擺起咗你條命，咁你就要即係做我嘅奴隸咁樣，即係好畸形嘅。即係如果你真係想幫人咧做慈善嘅話，咁你咪即係係啦，俾錢佢，然後即係。等佢可以讀書、供書教學，等佢可以即係有一技之長，即係係啦咁樣。So it's yeah, but I mean like this sort of like twisted way of thinking in the name of customs and tradition is always very disgusting anyway. 我覺得成日即係用嗰個所謂咩傳統啊咩文化，然後即係我哋即係留落嚟嘅習俗，就係要咁樣咧嚟到去掩飾佢哋呢一種即係其實就係違反侵犯人權嘅呢啲罪行咧，其實係超級嘅嘔心啊，係啊，即係令人齒冷啦咁樣樣。So anyway, this is the reading of today. 今日咧就讀到呢度啦，咁樣 ，and I'll see you again tomorrow. 咁聽日星期五，咁我哋咧就繼續讀書，拜拜。